feels so lonely.
I know. You know what, though? I think it's freeing. I feel like, honestly, both of us we were trending to greatness. You and I.
Correct.
Right? And then, I kind of feel like I was like Donovan Mitchell and Colson was like a Cav.
Yeah. I feel like, we're trending towards greatness without the albatross of our best analyst and best fan. We can really let this show go where it needs to go now.
Yeah. No, it's always a different thing. But hey, these are different times. We got to do what we got to do.
I didn't check to see if Colson left the name on the last pod that I put up. I just put "Suck It Cavaliers" everywhere on the name of the pod.
No, I think it stayed. Oh no, he left. So the actual file name is that, but the title itself is "We Embarrassed Ourselves." So he did clean it up.
All right, well, I'm gonna re-break this thing. Suck it, Cavs.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
I got my sweet jerk. I put some strings on.
That train is off the track.
Who doesn't love the bouncy castle?
Hitler.
Just prepare to... just prepare to be awash in undebeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You are listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is Tuesday, May 13th, 2025, and this is episode 765. Coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials. This show, we're going to discuss Game 5 of Round 2 in the Eastern Conference playoffs. What is this? The NBA playoffs. Round 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Joining me this show is one of our three analysts, but he's still coast to coast like buttered toast. From Tacoma, Washington, out west, it's our enforcer, John Harper.
What is going on, buddy? How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah, man.
Pretty good?
I feel better than I normally do.
Oh my. I just, I wish that Colson were here, but I appreciate that his head is probably exploding. They're probably trying to put him back together as we speak.
We may have
incredible conference finals 2 years running.
Yeah, we'll get into it, but we got lucky 2 years in a row, which is just impressive. But I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky. We may not be Dallas lucky, but we're lucky.
Well, before we get into the show, I do want to remind listeners they can support the longest running Pacers podcast by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables. And you can support our show for as little as $1 per month. Well, the reason we have gathered here today is to discuss Game 5 of the NBA playoffs. Cavs series. Pacers win. Tuesday, May 13th. Pacers heading into the land at the Rocket Arena and win 114-105. Let's mention this up front. It's a Tuesday night. We both have lots of things going on, and we're in many different time zones. Well, 2 different time zones. But between the two of us, we've watched and listened to at least the important parts, and we win. We win. We have 2 consecutive gentlemen's sweeps. Gentlemen's sweep? What's the plural? I don't know.
It's Suck It Cavaliers.
Plural. So Pacers win 4-1 in this game. Was, I had watched the beginning of the game and did not feel great. Pacers started off
atrocious.
Yeah. Yes. It felt pretty quickly to me like the team was going to pack it in and try to win that game at home in game 6. And I was pleasantly surprised during my game, again, checking the score when we sub off the field. And we're like, oh, we're down by 8 or so. It was down by 4 or so.
4.5, yeah.
Okay. And then had a blank time there, and then checked on the way out. I was like, oh, we're up 12, and it's the end of the third. Okay. And so I didn't get to see all of that part, but I'll be, of course, going back through and checking it all out. But I did see the closing of the game, and I had this feeling that the team was, that they did not validate, which was, I was like, something's going to go wrong here. And it just never did. They just were they were so professional and clutch. And there were some mistakes made, but for the most part, they just closed the game out. And this after being down by, I think, 19 points in the first half, and kind of closed that gap and brought it back. Big scores for the game. We finally got a Halliburton game.
Finally got the Halliburton game.
31 points out of him.
Needed all of it.
Yeah. Only 8 assists and 6 rebounds. So no double-double. But we got 31 points out of him. And Pascal Siakam had 21 points and a lot of clutch buckets. This was the game we had the least amount of bench help. But there was some timely contributions. I know there was some period of time where Thomas Bryant was just dunking.
Yeah.
It was just a little dunk show. He ends up with 9 points, the leading bench scorer. And Nesmith ends up with 13. And I saw 13 and 13 game out of him. I don't see him
13 and 13, not of 13.
Yeah, I don't. No, that's what I'm saying. 13 and 13. 13 rebounds.
Not a great shooting night, but a great game all around.
Yes. And Nemhard, 18 and 6 assists. He was definitely running the offense for certain parts of the game. And this was another mammoth game for Donovan Mitchell, and the only other big contributor was Evan Mobley. Mm-hmm. DeAndre Hunter chipped in as well, but there wasn't much. There was Max Strus had a lot of zeros in his box score.
Oof. Over 9.
I had heard ouch. No shade on him. I had heard before the game that he sent out a text to his team and just said, if you don't believe we can do it, don't show up. And it wasn't for lack of effort. They didn't. It wasn't that they weren't trying, but they weren't able to execute. And the Pacers. I mean, the Pacers won this game. This wasn't from what I saw. And tell me your thoughts. I don't think the Cavs choked this out.
No, I suppose that's true. I mean, I had a very different feeling throughout this game. This Pacers team has just trained me to believe that they can win games. I mean, they came out in that first quarter and we just laid an egg. Now, certainly I'll give credit to the Cavs for coming out and playing some good D, but we couldn't hit a shot. We produced more than enough good looks to put some points on the board, but we just could not get them to go down. A little sloppy with the ball as well. Luckily, we played some pretty good D for our own part in that first quarter. Otherwise, they might have just, jumped out to a huge lead. But we managed, even though we were playing, it was probably our worst quarter that I've seen us play in this playoffs. we still managed to, get out of there, not let them get way out ahead of us. And then in the second quarter, just really turned things around, which I was hoping would be the case. Halliburton catches fire. Is he 4 threes in the frame or something like that? He was just in full heat check mode out there. Just an incredible performance to get us back in the game. But the only time that I was really scared is when we came out of the locker room for the third quarter, because we just didn't have that level of force that we were going to need to have to win this game.
Yeah.
But shame on me for not being a believer. We end up posting a 17-2 run to take control of this thing in the third. Just, incredible play from Tyrese Halliburton. Great defense from Nembhard. Neesmith had an off shooting night, but great contributions. Pascal doing his thing. Super exciting. And unfortunately, I missed most of the fourth quarter because I was hurrying home to be here, and am literally just finishing the game as we sit here.
One other, looking at some of the stats that stick out to me, the Cavaliers' 3-point percentage was rough. It was 26% for the game, and Pacers were 43%. And there was definitely points early where both teams couldn't hit anything. I think that on the radio broadcast they had said between the I think the 3 guards that were getting a lot of play time, or maybe I think the 3 guards, they were 0 of 18 to start the game. I think Mitchell got one eventually, in the fourth quarter. So that was a big thing for us to be able to not have, the Pacers often will have they'll burst of scoring, and you string a couple threes together in a row, and things can change very quickly, and that didn't happen today for them. Max Strus, again, like I said, he in other games he made some big shots, and obviously, with no points, today was not one of those days, but
nope. They had to lean on Ty Jerome about halfway through the third quarter to try and ignite this team, as we were just burying them. The crowd was definitely nervous as we kept just, putting it on them. I'm with you. The Cavs played hard, but Darius Garland still clearly hobbled.
Yeah, he didn't look quite right. He didn't. You could tell.
Unclear exactly what was going on with Spider, but he will definitely tell you he was not his self. His 100% self anyway, in spite of the 35 points that he posted up.
Right.
Got to the line 21 times on us, so he was definitely not afraid to get downhill.
I gotta say, if you like watching Mitchell shoot free throws, this was a good series for you.
It was a heck of a good series. Everybody loves free throws. That's what the NBA is all about.
So we did get smashed again on the offensive boards, 15-5, and that was another. It's like those extended possessions where, particularly early when things were not going well, and they just get 2-3 cracks at it. Eventually they're going to score, even if they're not shooting well. You get 3 cracks at it, one of them's going to go down. But we won the rebounding, the total rebounds.
We did win the total rebounds. Eventually, we got it a little bit cleaned up on the boards. It was worse in the first half than the second, for sure. Did struggle a little bit with turnovers. Their pressure was really good. Crowd very unhappy with Benedict Mathurin. Every time he touched it, he was getting booed and did not play well. Threw up an air ball, had an offensive foul early. Not a great game for him. He was. They were not showing him the love.
No, but he did have. I mean, I guess he did have some spurts where he had a nice. He had a couple nice possessions where I think he had a nice block, and then came back and for an and one. I think was in the third or fourth quarter. Yep,
and had a couple flip ups near the rim, doing his thing. Only gets 11 minutes in this game. Heavy minutes from the starters in a closeout game. No real surprise. Yeah. Pascal's good for 40 in this thing.
Yeah. But the good news is we will be taking on the TBD winner of the Boston Celtics New York Knickerbockers.
Oh, you mean the Knicks?
Right now. I mean the Knicks. Right now, I think series is sitting at 3-1 New York. Or no.
3-1 New York?
Yes. 3-1 New York. And, well, we haven't talked about this on our show, but last night in Game 4, just a couple minutes left in the game, Tatum, who was having a monster game.
42, I think he posted somewhere around there.
Yeah, he was in beast mode and tore his Achilles and he had surgery today. I saw.
Oh, is that verified?
I saw that he had. Yeah,
it's certainly what it looked like. I mean, he was on the floor crying. It was a non-contact injury. Yeah. It's just,
right.
I swear, I never used to see Achilles injuries. Now it's like the most common. Like nobody blows knees anymore. It's all Achilles.
Yeah, both of those. You know, the that one and the Lillard one, both where they're just not non-contact.
Yeah, you could tell when he went down. He was crying on the court. I mean, you could tell he was.
Well,
he knew his season was over.
Matters. Oh, right? Yeah, you wonder how much of that is emotion and how much of that is pain, and it could be a little color.
Plenty of both, I'm sure. But
sure,
yeah. At that point though, you could be pretty sure his season was over, and in all likelihood, they were already likely losing that game. That was just the sort of icing on the cake, and down 3-1 against a pretty damn good Knickerbocker team. The chances of them being able to pull it out without their uncontested best player is just very, very small indeed. So I would be very surprised if the Knicks don't put this away in the next game.
Yeah, so what I'm seeing now, and I don't know if this is subject to change, but the next game would be scheduled for Monday. Looks like it already says 8 o'clock. But, and they said Isaiah Jackson is already scheduled not to play. He's the only person on the list.
Well, the reason that we got to do a pod tonight is because we are being rewarded for being the only members of this podcast to pick Indiana to win this damn series. Neither of us were aggressive enough. I didn't see us taking it 5. I chose 7. You chose 6. So good on you. You were closer. But neither of us won with the Price is Right rules. In any case, points.
Fine. Whatever. I'm happy to
points.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that series. We would hope that it goes longer.
Yeah, I'm hoping for 7. Come on, 7.
You're hoping for 7, but who knows? That next game's in. I guess the next game 5 would be in Boston.
They're back to Boston.
Right. So Boston's more likely to win that one than they would be in New York, but who knows?
So I believe that that game will be tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Or sorry, 7 o'clock your time.
Yes. It's always 4 o'clock somewhere, right? Then, I guess, you alluded to this up front. The NBA draft happened. And there was a surprise winner.
Conspiracy theorists unite.
The Dallas Mavericks with the 11th best odds was like 1.5%, I think.
1.8, I believe.
Oh, I'm sorry, 1.8%.
Yeah, don't sell them short now.
They win the number 1 pick.
That's apparently only the 4th lowest odds to ever win the NBA draft lottery.
Okay.
But I haven't had a chance to do any regression analysis on whether, how big the deviation from the mean are on what these draft picks are versus where they should be. But I've never been a fan of these conspiracy theories, but I I can for sure tell you that people looking at this from the outside who are prone to that sort of thinking are going to be all over this thing. I mean, just an absolutely confusing move from that team. Trading Luka with no warning, apparently without shopping him, to the most storied franchise, or one of the two most storied franchises at the least in the NBA. And then magically, pulling out this pick 2 months later. You can always create a narrative around these things after the fact. But this one just has a special amount of,
Yeah.
ease to fit into a conspiratorial narrative for sure.
Right. With all the with all the drama with the Mavericks over the last few months, then I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Anything that happens with them now is going to be.
And this is the opposite of ball don't lie, right? They did some stupid shit and then got rewarded for it.
Right. Yeah. And I did see, and also I did not corroborate this, but Charlie posted it in the Slack that Josh Giddey had a half-court winner towards the end of the season for the Bulls, give the Bulls a win, and the players were very excited. That changed their seeding for the lottery and would have given them the spot that the Mavericks ended up in. And who knows? Who knows?
Well, I know the Bulls can't even tank, right?
No, that's the thing. Don't take those shots. They could have been, I don't know. Is Cooper Flagg a generational player? I have no idea. Remains to be seen, but you should at least take a shot on him.
All I could say is I sincerely hope that Giddey hit some contract perk with those points, but I suspect that's probably not the case.
Yeah, I'm guessing with the season the team had, that's probably not in the contract. But hey, what do I know?
Just to give a quick rundown of the lottery teams. So San Antonio Spurs will pick number 2. They have said that they are happy with the talent that's around it too. Though it must be said that even had Boston won a championship this year, it's likely that team was going to break up because they owe something like $500 million in salary next year. So the Spurs are probably a team that is lying and going to trade that number 2 pick for somebody wearing green right now. 76ers get the 3 seed, followed by the Hornets, the Jazz, the Wizards can't catch a break, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Nets, Raptors, Rockets, Blazers, then the Bulls at 12. You're welcome. Ooh. And finally, the Hawks and the Spurs land again at 14. I can't remember where that one came from.
Bulls missing out.
The Bulls. Second year in a row, conference finals. A rematch of last year's semifinals against the Knicks. This is going to be spicy.
Well, we assume it's going to be there, but yeah, it's going to be spicy. They are slightly retooled. And largely the same. Yeah.
I would argue heavily.
Yeah, well. The one that makes the biggest difference is still there. So, but they do have some new faces out there. We'll I don't want to get too far into that conversation, but I am excited.
Do you want to plant a flag? You are here first. If you want to make a pick before these guys have a chance to respond, you can take your pick first.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. I mean, I think the Pacers are. I think this is the year that they're going to beat the Knicks in another round. A different round.
So same thing, but different.
And you know what? I'm gonna get out in front of this one The Pacers are signaling to me that it's the year of gentlemanly sweeps, and I'll take it.
Woo! Sticking on 5.
It's probably ridiculous, but hey, I'm here for it. For my own ridiculousness.
Well, here's the thing. You and I picked Indiana last round. I don't think either of us have any choice but to pick Indiana again this round.
Yeah.
I picked Indiana in 7. I think they probably are going to win this in 6 because I know they want to give the home fans what they want. However, I'm afraid to deviate from my previous choice because I'm a superstitious monkey. I'm taking Pacers in 7.
Oh, can I change mine to what I had last?
You are Indy in 6. I got you.
This has been the most superstitious. Like, I don't care. I never cared about any of that stuff. But now, like it was people wearing their same shirt. We talked about this, but it's today we're checking in. Did you do this? What happened?
Yeah. I've got a bucket of honey vinaigrette or whatever it is to pour over my head before the next game.
Charlie kept his promise. He didn't watch the game live, so
good man, good show.
Return the favor.
I'll do my part.
Yeah. As we record Game 5 of the Denver-Oklahoma City Thunder series is going, and it's halftime. Nuggets up 2.
In a 2-2 series. Winner of this game, likely winner of the series.
Yep.
It's been a good series, though. Boy.
Yeah. I think better than a lot of people expected. But
including me, who predicted a sweep.
Oh, yeah, the sweep? I know I had Nugs. I don't remember how far I had him go. Maybe 7.
You had the Denver in 7.
Okay.
So still looking pretty good.
Yep. I'm hoping. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead. Pacer matchup wise, but I don't want to get too far ahead. But I'm having fun. I'll say this: I'm having a good time, and I have been just consuming as much basketball content as I can find.
Absolutely. I'm just,
it's been,
as a fan and a Pacer fan, I'm just rooting for long series everywhere. That's my job.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, except for the Pacer series.
Except for us.
I want a nice gentleman sweep, but the rest of them go 7 because they've been fun to watch.
Absolutely.
There's been a couple bummer injuries, of course, but I mean, regardless, not to minimize those, but that sucks for those people. But the basketball games are still awesome, so that part's good. And with modern medicine,
there have been 0 fatalities.
It's true. Tatum will be out there on opening day, probably. Nah, probably not. But I think we've seen people come back from those and be more effective than you would think. So we've not seen the last of Tatum.
No,
of Lillard.
Tatum's 27.
Yeah, he's younger.
Yeah, he's got a lot of basketball. I mean, it's a bummer for it to happen just as he enters his prime, but plenty of basketball left for him to play.
Yep. Cool. Well, anything else you got on your chest?
Suck it, Cavaliers.
Yep. Well, you say that, but I will say, you know what? After the game, it was very cordial.
Totally magnanimous.
It was a good, and I mean, it was a good professional. It was a good end to the series.
Yep.
There was no hard feelings. It looked like, even though Halliburton was waving goodbye to the fans, but that was to the fans and not.
Yeah. Luckily, Halliburton's dad wasn't there.
He was not there. Well, and he was waving goodbye to the people that were chanting that he was overrated. So, you can't be too upset.
Pay for what you get.
Yes. So they looked like they had good chats at the end, and and I want to see. I really am interested to see what the Cavs do. Going forward, I've heard a lot of comparisons to some of those mid 2010 Hawks teams, which were like they'd win 60 plus games, and they never really did much in the playoffs. Yep. And then this was like for several years they'd win a lot of games, a lot of games, and then they just didn't have the gas in the playoffs. They just didn't have in the matchups. They just didn't have what it took to win. It just wasn't there. Yep. And
this team, I think, second best all-time offensive rating for a season.
Right.
And then couldn't find the bucket. Just couldn't find it.
Yeah. No, and they had some, and also, hey, guess what? Defensive Player of the Year is on there. Not the best defense, but they had the Defensive Player of the Year. And there's a lot of potential there, obviously, but
they're an excellent team.
They are an excellent team. They need something different. And, well, I'm saying that I don't know that we should really use the Heat series as a guiding post for anything that they do, because I don't think the Heat even showed up. But I think you could look at this series and retool a little bit, and bring it back.
I mean, there's just an incredible amount of parity in the NBA right now. And when the Cavs look back on this series and the way they let, especially, game 2 go, I mean, this is a series that they are going to feel like they could have been much more competitive in. I don't think they're going to overreact to anything. I think they're going to, try and build on what they have. And I think that they probably will bring it back. Whether Atkinson is a part of that is maybe the only question that I really have. But I like his odds.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, we're going to have more shows, I believe, as soon as we can. We're all super excited and are ready to, talk about the rest of the playoffs, talk about the upcoming games, because, hey, guess what? It's mid-May and we have more Pacer games on the horizon. So we're going to be with you as often as we can. But who knows what that looks like in practice. So we'll be back with you very soon. Until then, you can hit us up on social media. We are on Twitter at Undebeatables. We're on Facebook.com/TheUndebeatables. Our website is TheUndebeatables.com. There's also a contact form there. You can use that to send us a message. Email. Shout out at TheUndebeatables.com. And over at the website /store for merch.
And for our once and only coach and other stuff, and Bobby Slick Leonard, turn out the lights. Party's over.
I like that. It's next man up.
Suck it, Cleveland.
Oh. Little flourish at the end. I like that.
I changed it up.
I like your. Here's the thing. I like the idea of your trash talking to the Cavs, but I'm from Cleveland, so it hurts me a little bit every time you say that.
I'm sorry. Suck it, Joey. Is that better?
Oh, but I don't remember this much. Did you talk this much trash to the Bucks? They deserved it way more.
It's true, they did. I'm mad at Coulson because I thought it was hilarious when I just had "Suck It Cavs" for like the description and the name of the show and everything, and he took it off. So you can blame Coulson for all my trash talk.
It is the description of the show. That's all it says. It says "Suck It Cleveland," and then there's the links to the box score, the bracket, and our Patreon. So we got the most important parts in there. Right?
Okay. Well, it didn't stop me.